Welcome to my channel. It's been a while. Some of you know me as a biker. Some of you know me as a book reviewer. But I took a step back from all that just to really go through life and see what it's all about right now and just try to get a clear head. That is why I went on this journey to just be sober of everything. I mean, drinking was never really a problem for me. I don't really drink ever. And if I do, it's like, yay, let's take a shot. Take a shot. I'm done. Maybe two, but I can't drink anymore. The headaches, the day after, the hangover, the whole thing. That's not what I want to do on my days off, recover. No, not for me. My days off are my days off. I'm gonna go do something fun with it. So I'm making this series and I have more bike videos coming. I just gotta edit them. I've been really just kind of stepping back from everything. So I have a lot of bike trips already filmed. I just have to edit them and upload them. And they're all mountain biking. I strictly mountain biking now unless it's somewhere where I could bring my bike with me. But besides that, that's the channel update. That's my update. Here's the start of today's video. I chose to stop smoking weed. I'm going to tell you my story behind from starting till now and why I chose that. Like I was saying at the beginning of this video, I usually make bike videos, but this is going to be a little bit different. So if this is not your type of videos, feel free just to skip over these and just look forward for those bike videos in the future. But if you're struggling like I have, whether it's with weed, alcohol, or just anything in general with addiction, the biggest thing is to kind of play back your story. And for me, I needed more accountability, whereas I know that I don't want to do it anymore. I know it's not good for me. It's holding me back and my energy levels are held down. But for some reason, I'm battling my thoughts and I keep going back after, a week break, few days break. I kind of just fall in this loop that's like, okay, it was a great week, but I'm bored. Let's go back to it, right? My story. I've been smoking for a while now. I am 28 and I started at 18. So a solid 10 years of pretty much just about every day. Started off slow, started off after school. Then it started every weekend. Then it started before school. And then it started to be just, they just started overlapping each other, right? At that point, it's just all day, every day, besides the time I'm sleeping. And sometimes I would wake up and still feel a little buzzed. At the beginning, I was very against it. And I told all my friends, no, whatever, you go do that. I'm not going to do it. But what really, really allowed me to do it the first time was I was walking to school and the street above where I lived I lived really close to the school. So the street above me, basically one of 3 streets I take to get to school, there was a big drug bust. And I mean grow up drug bust. Like every single room in this house had tables, lights on the ceiling with the tractors like going around on timers. The garage was the flowering room, just everything. Like this was huge operations. And as I'm walking, I see all the cops outside with the window shattered because it was literally a bus. They posted up out front, threw a flashbang or something, shattered the windows, and then went in. So I'm walking to school and I see all these cops and I could see inside this place and there's just tables and tables and tables of plants. And I didn't think anything of it besides I'm gonna go tell my friends that smoke and be like, ha, look, big operation got busted. This is why I don't do it. But kind of backfired on me because because after school we would always go to the park and bike. So they're like, oh, instead of going home to get our bikes, let's walk and let's go straight to that street and stop by. Well, the cops didn't really bust it too well because everything was still in this house. Yeah, it had like crime scene tape and blah blah blah, right? Somewhere where we should not be, but we went in the house because literally all the windows are open, the garage is open, just it got raided, right? And there's just broken lights everywhere. All the drawers were ripped out of the cabinets, and it was weird because everything was still there. It was just pushed around and stomped on and destroyed, and like all the plants were still there. I'm sure they took a bunch because not every table was full like when I walked by. But there was plants all over the floor, in the garage, in the flowering room, there was stems everywhere, curing still. And I mean, like I said, they took a bunch of it, but they left a lot there. Like, I, I don't know. I guess they figured, hey, we got the majority of it. We got the guys. I don't even know if the guys were there, to be honest, because usually the car that I would see outside wasn't there. So yeah, long story short, my friends who knew what to look for and what they were doing found like bags and bags of trim and a bunch of nugs still on stems that were curing, and they're like, well, it's not ready yet, but technically all this is really like good stuff, and there's a lot of it here. So that friend, he collected it all. I don't know the exact weight or nothing, but it was like the big Ziploc baggies, like not the sandwich size, but the big ones. That was filled. And I was just speechless. Like, I was blown away. And then I told my mom, and the neighbor across the street was wanted to check it out as well. So again, shouldn't have done it, but we all went back in the house, and the neighbor and my mom. The neighbor was a retired sheriff or something, so I don't know, I felt safer going in there with her the second time around. But yeah, we all knew we shouldn't be in there. So yeah, so we went in there. My friend called me later that night and was like, hey, I had all that stuff we collected sitting out. It's pretty dry now, and I think from what I tested, it's smokable. Do you want some? Like, you found the house. Do you want some? Like, to them at that time, it was like they struck gold. Like, hundreds of dollars worth of marijuana they found for free. Like, gold mine for them. I was like, well, no, I don't smoke or anything, and I don't want to like try to sell it or anything for money. So it doesn't mean anything to me, right? Just take it, whatever, Well, I ended up hanging out with everyone later that night. We were at the park. We just knew a lot of dirt canyons and stuff because we would bike a lot after school and build jumps. So we knew a lot of like low key areas we could hang out and not really have any problems. So we were there hanging out, and I'm like, you know what? If there's ever a time to try it, I guess this is the time, right? Just found a bunch of free stuff. So I did it. It was out of an apple. Didn't really taste too good. Tasted pretty bad, actually. It wasn't fully cured. Now that I have knowledge about it, it should have sat out for a couple days in a dark area, not just a full day. So, I'm doing it. I don't feel anything. All my other friends are acting funny and silly, chasing each other around the trees, laughing, having a good time. Or so we thought. And I kept going. For some reason, my friend just like, yeah, try more. Maybe, I don't know. Well, come to find out, like, your first time, you either feel it or you don't. It just depends, right? So I didn't feel nothing. I went straight from I feel nothing to I have the worst headache ever because I probably just smoked every last bit of water in my body out and just completely dehydrated myself. So that was my first time, and I was like, don't ever let me do this again. I have a really bad headache. This is not worth it. So right there, I should have just stopped. But for some reason, I got talked into doing it again. And I'm not saying like they begged me or whatever. They're just like, are you sure? Do it again. You didn't really feel it the first time. You can't really judge that. So I was like, all right, whatever. One more time. Let's do it. So I went to my friend's house after school. We're biking again. And he lived on the side of a hill. So there was just big vegetation hill. So we went over that behind the houses down the hill. And we're there hanging out. And it hit me. Like, just one hit. Just like tunnel vision. Couldn't see my hands while I was riding my bike. Like, it was probably the most intense I've ever felt off of the high from it. But I remember riding around with the little kids in the neighborhood, and they had their little jumps out, and we just did lap after lap after lap jumping it. I don't even know how many laps we did, to be honest. But we just kept doing it. I'm sure the kids were happy. They had no idea what was going on, and we were having a blast because one, we like jumping jumps, and now it's a whole new world, right? And then we went to, what did we do? We went to like basketball courts or something, and I crashed hard. Got a headache. I feel like I was gonna throw up. We ended up going to Albertsons, got like a loaf of bread, and I just ate that while taking a nap in their car while they went to go play basketball for an hour or so. And again, you think like those first 2 times would be like, okay, your body obviously doesn't like this. What are you doing, right? But I don't know. I guess it was the mentally addictiveness to it, where it was like I could go home and play video games. I could go to the park and bike, or I could do those exact same things and be like a kid again. I think that's what drew me to it. I was like a kid again. Everything was like new in the world. I was re-exploring everything again with this new mindset, and I think that's what got me like addicted to it. Like the thrill of doing it and then just re-experiencing everything, whether it was video games, biking, watching a cartoon like Family Guy or something, and then like laughing or drawing or making music or whatever my hobbies were at that time. It was like an open world, just sometimes just playing with my thoughts, and just like it was like the first time I felt like I had a backseat driver, like I'm I'm controlling this. Like it was a weird thought, but it happened, and I just that's it just slowly went out of control from there. It went weekends, after school, to eventually we were working and we had jobs, so we could basically do it whenever we wanted to because we had the funds to do it. And that's when it got out of control, because it was like more people congregated together because we were all the people in high school that smoked or whatever. We may not all have been bikers, or it was like some people were like the skate group or whatever, but this was something we could all come together about. And we all knew these, like I said, these dirt canyons that you could drive your cars through, and pretty much you could do whatever you want back there. People used to throw parties, all kinds of stuff. So the more that group grew, it was just kind of like it was never running out of weed, like between everyone that showed up, half the people had it, half the people didn't. The next day, those people that didn't had it, and the people that had it obviously are out, and it just grew out of hand. And by then you're doing it every day, and it becomes normal. And that's the point where it was accepted as just something that I did. And that was probably, I'm already 2 years in by now. So 2 years in, the second year, I'm pretty much 24/7. It's running. I have THC in my blood, and I still do, even though I haven't been smoking for a few days. It's gonna take a while to get this out. It's been a solid 10 years, and I've only had a few month breaks here and there for jobs and drug testing and stuff like that. But I kept going back, and I would take breaks. I would, hang out with different people, and then I would find out, oh, you guys smoke too? So I never really got away from it. And being in California, everything's pretty much legal now. You could just show up, show your ID, buy it, and walk right out. That really made it hard because I for a while I would be buying less because I knew like I didn't always want to drive there. I feel like if I buy less at a time, I could handle it, whatever. But that wasn't the case. I ended up spending more on less because you don't get like a bundle deal or whatever. And I would go back 2-3 times a week. So now I'm just wasting gas money, and it didn't work out. So I downloaded an app, I Am Sober. It's like a tracker, right? Keeps track of all your things. So you can see I'm at 1 day, 19 hours, 2 minutes, and 4 seconds. But it makes you like write a pledge. But what I like about it is, I'm not sure how well you could see this, but everyone who's on your day, so day 1, about to be day 2. I mean, you could skip through the days and read people's stories, but this has helped me. I've been using that for a few months now, and I got some good runs. There was a couple 6-day runs, 7-day, a few 4-day runs, and just a lot of 1-2-day runs. So it was helping. Keeping track of it, seeing that timer, listening to people's or reading people's stories. And I would look online on YouTube, watch people's videos and stuff, and just nothing kept me motivated. And there wasn't like a complete series of someone going through it. It was like someone checked in, hey, I'm 2 weeks sober, I feel great. You should too. Life's great, whatever. And there's just some of those videos where people kind of checked in and made those. but there wasn't really anything that documented the process. So, after 10 years go by, I 2 days ago, or an hour, or a day and 19 hours ago, me and my fiance, I pretty much just broke down in front of her, and I was just like, yeah, I'm struggling with this. It's time to be honest now. I tried taking it lightly and thought I could just ignore it and it would go away and then I wouldn't do it anymore. But after seeing my logs, you can see that wasn't the case. Right around that week mark, I always relapsed. I would quit Sunday, and then by the time next Saturday or Sunday came around, something came up, or I was just super bored at home. I couldn't think of anything, and then I just did it. So my goal with this, and what I want from this video and these series to come when I check in on every 1 or 2 days, or just really whenever I have like a minute or two of video to upload, I want to connect with everyone who's going through the same thing or trying to go through the same thing, as in sober up. Whether it is from weed or alcohol or anything, really, like I said, it's all an addiction. So we could kind of come at this with the same thoughts. Just some have different withdrawals than others, whereas weed's pretty much all mental, with maybe like some night sweats for the physical withdrawals and stuff, and maybe not sleeping and eating. But for the most part, it's all mental. You're not like the other stuff, right? So I want to connect with you guys. I want to motivate each other off our stories. So I would love to hear your guys' stories. How'd you get into this? And why you want to get out of it and just change, right? The reason why I want to change is because during those 10 years, I found, like I said, I was exploring life with a new mindset. And after 10 years of exploring life with that mindset, I felt like it was no longer growing me, as in like keep an open mind. I hit like a threshold probably about 4 years ago. About 4 years ago, I hit this threshold when I was just like, why am I doing this anymore? I'm just doing it to do it. It didn't have the same like wow factor, And that's why I never really drank, because sure, that hour, 2 hours while you're drunk or buzzing, whatever, is cool. But that short amount of time didn't outweigh the whole. I hate headaches, first of all. So when you get hungover and you have that, yeah, worst thing ever. So I don't drink ever. Like, it's not something I say, hey guys, want to go to the bar and drink? It's mostly like I'm at a party, or I'm at a campfire, or I'm in a situation where a bunch of people are drinking, and I'll have a beer or so. Or my sister's wedding was the most I drank in a long time. I think I had like 4 shots that night and a margarita. Like, that was the most I've drank in probably ever. I don't really, like I said, I never really drank, but the next morning I had like a hangover, and I'm like, nope, you did it. Get on your bike and go ride. So we went to the park, did some dirt jumps, and just sweated it out of my system. And the whole day I felt sluggish. So that's why I don't like to drink. And smoking, again, it holds me back now. I'm no longer gaining new perspective of life. I am getting stuck in ruts where I would come home, eat dinner, talk to my girl, smoke, and play video games until like I'm literally falling asleep playing video games because I'm just so tired and so high, and it's like midnight. And I was like, what am I? That's not a life, right? Like, you can't go anywhere doing that. I'm literally draining my entire body till it has nothing left every single night, just to wake up tired, get through the day tired. And by the time I start waking up after noon and I start feeling good, I just start that cycle over again. And it was just in a constant cycle of holding me down, holding me down, holding me down. I'm trying to run an e-commerce business, Shop Love Dogs. It's a pet shop. I have pet supplies, but I also have a bunch of clothing designed for, majority are for females, but there's a couple designs that males could wear as well. But it's definitely orientated towards the dog moms and the cutesy dog accessories, and I've been trying to make this e-commerce business. I did the designs, uploaded it, made the site, did everything, but I'm not motivated to do these fine details to really take it to that next level. And that bothered me a lot, because in my goals that I wanted to do, that was one of them, and I wasn't doing it. Like I said, I was trying it, and I broke down on the phone with my fiance, and I was just like, look, I'm struggling. I need to end this. Like, I'm done with this. I don't want to fight this anymore. I don't want to give into it anymore. I just want this to be over. So we talked about it, you know, I cried, whatever. It felt good actually to just kind of let all these emotions I had bottled in while I was trying to tackle it myself out. And it just being fully open and honest and just letting everything out was a really good first step, and it really cleared out a lot of space in my head. And I feel like that was a major first step. Just having someone that I could just fully tell them how I feel, the battles my mind has, and just everything, like fully open, you know, whether it's, you know, your loved, you know, your partner in your relationship, or if it's a parent, aunt, or maybe just a really close friend. Whoever that is, you got to find someone who you could be fully honest and open with, and they're not going to judge you for it. They're going to listen. I mean, that's the most part. They just need to listen. They don't even have to say anything, because through this, you're healing as you're letting it all come out. But if they give you, you know, something to look forward to, like, yeah, I'm gonna motivate you, I'm gonna check in and support you, or if they like, oh, I know so and so that knows this place, a recovery place, you should talk to them. So basically, after that, I went on a search all night, watched a bunch of YouTube videos, read a bunch of articles, and there was nothing that really documented the process. It was like, yeah, you could feel this, the night sweats, not eating, whatever, right? And it could take 7 days, it could take 14, but really it doesn't really leave your body for 30 days. That's pretty much the story I was getting. So I wanted to document my entire process, not only because talking about it helps me personally, but I wanted to connect with the community and read your guys' stories and, you know, have conversations in the comments about this and really just motivate and support each other. And when we figure out what's working for us, we share that in the comments, and maybe that could help someone else, you know, make it to that next day when they're struggling and having those thoughts of relapse. So that's why I did this. And I also wanted to be held accountable too. Yeah, I've been opening up to my fiance, my friends, my mom, but something about having this out in the public for everyone to see just makes me more motivated to not go back on my word, right? So I'm filming these as motivation and accountability for myself. So I already filmed earlier in the day, my day one, and I'm going to film again at night as the day I'm recording this. I'm not too sure when I'm going to upload them. I'm going to try to get everything uploaded like the day after or within 2 days, so everything's kind of current still that I'm uploading. But this series, I plan to take it as far as, you know, that 30-day mark. And specifically that 30-day mark, because that's about that time when you could take a drug test and pass. So I want that, you know, that first test in 10 years. Well, I passed a couple others, but this one's not for a job, not for something else. This one's going to be for me. So I'm going to go until I could take one of those tests and it comes back that I'm clean. And then from there, maybe I'll check in every month, maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever, right? I don't want this to be the main thing on my channel. Eventually, I want to go back to the bike videos, maybe some self-help topics we could go into. But I don't want this to be the entire thing about my YouTube channel. It's just going to be this playlist. All these videos are going to be in this playlist. It's my story. It's my documentation through the steps. And I hope I could connect and really help and motivate others reach sobriety or whatever it is. Like I said, maybe you're addicted to these. These are horrible. This is going to be my next thing probably. Whatever it is, it's you got to get your mind on board. And when you get your mind on board, it's going to help a lot easier. And once you understand those thoughts, not every thought is a thought you should take action on. So I'm still getting those thoughts about, oh yeah, let's smoke. Or, oh, what am I going to do later? Oh, we should probably smoke, whatever. Just fight them. It's not you. They're just random thoughts your brain thinks. It's trying to optimize itself. So your brain's throwing out thoughts of your routine because it thinks that's what you already want to do. But I made my decision. It's not what I want to do. I want to change. So this is my video of why I chose to stop smoking weed and my story and why I again, I want to connect with you all. If you are here for the bike videos and you made it this far, well, thank you, and I appreciate you supporting my journey. More bike videos to come, but look forward to this playlist, and save this playlist or whatever. Put your notifications on, because I'm just going to keep uploading them in here. There's going to be, a lot of the videos will be filmed on my phone, just live, quick videos throughout the day, and then I'll compile them into a daily upload or every other day upload. Kind of check in with the community, see where you guys are at, how I'm feeling. Can we relate on what you're feeling? How are we going to get past this? And, just keep each other going to that next step. So my name's Jacob. I appreciate you going all the way through this story. And again, comment your story. I would love to read it and comment and have a conversation with you all. So hope you're all having a great day, and you all stay strong, stay focused on the goal, and achieve your goals that you want to achieve, whether that's stop smoking weed like myself, no energy drinks, no drinking. It could be other drugs. It could be anything bad habit, any bad habit that you have that you want to get rid of, any addiction you want to get rid of. Comment that down below. I'm sure there's common grounds in our stories and our journeys that we're going to go through in the future. So I'm excited to hear it all. Hope you all have a great day. Peace.